Hello, it's me, Recky, together with
Carol.
and welcome back for another reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Beaver Wars.
Yeah, the comments wanted us to check that out.
Yeah, and I do believe it's about real beavers. We read in the description of the video, just to get a heads up on what the situation is. It says 17th century conflict driven by the fur trade, where the Aqua or Cree confidence, I can't really, Cree? That's the Native American tribe. Battle European powers, indigenous rivals for control. So those Indians, or what you call Native Americans today, they were in fight with the European powers, probably about the fur trade. So who was supposed to dominate that?
Okay.
It's on the channel called Local NY History, and if you want to check it out, you find the link for the channel, Local NY History, and the video we're about to watch. Both links will be available in our description. Go there and give them the support that they so much deserve. We're going to learn about a war that I heard about, but I don't know anything about.
No, I don't know anything.
Let's do this. And if you do enjoy reactions with Recky and Carol, well, all you have to do is hit like, and if you're new to the channel, subscribe is a really cool button to do too. So, thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Everyone knows in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. But what about 1609? That year hardly ever gets mentioned, and yet it changed North America forever. It marks the beginning of one of the most consequential eras I barely learned about in school. That year, the Dutch laid claim to New Netherland, while the French had already laid the groundwork for New France. These two European powers, along with indigenous allies, would quickly find themselves on opposite sides of a series of conflicts, ultimately driven by the North American beaver. Across the ocean came firearms, traded for beaver pelts, escalating traditional tribal warfare into something far more lethal. History books call these conflicts the French and Iroquois Wars. I prefer the term Beaver Wars.
That was one of the most intriguing, well-made intros I've seen. He locked me in.
Yep.
Like lickety split the first 2 seconds of this video, and I am all in.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely.
North American beavers once numbered in the tens of millions, thriving in slow rivers, streams, ponds, and lake edges, where they built dams, engineered wetlands, and wore thick waterproof fur perfect for cold climates. In 1524, Italian navigator Giovanni de Verrazzano, sailing for France, charted the Atlantic coast and gave France an early window into the New York region. By then, native groups had already filled the continent, including the Haudenosaunee, aka the Iroquois, located in what is now upstate New York.
Iroquois.
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 Their great confederacy consisted of 5 nations: the Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, and Seneca. To their north lived the Wendat, or Huron, around the Georgian Bay of Lake Huron. Nearby were Algonquin peoples along the St. Lawrence and Ottawa rivers.
Algonquin.
Other groups included the Innu of eastern Canada.
Innu.
Further south, the Mohicans and Lenape lived in different spots along the Hudson River, while the Susquehannock occupied the Susquehanna River. To the west lay the Erie, Neutral, and Wenro nations surrounding the Niagara and Lake Erie frontiers. Beyond them, in the Ohio River Valley and around Lake Michigan, lived peoples such as the Illinois, Potawatomi, Miami, and Shawnee, all of whom would feel the shockwaves of the Beaver Wars. In the 1530s,
This was the 1500s, and there was so many different tribes.
Yeah, already done.
Incredible.
Did you put on the... tog du på bild på oss? Alltså så att de kan se. Jag såg inte att du klickade i den rutan.
Okay. Pretty
Sorry, I
sure
just
I
want to
did.
double check. Yeah, you did. Sorry.
Jacques Cartier sailed to the St. Lawrence River for France, seeking a northwest passage to Asia. Instead, he opened the door of trade between European and indigenous goods. By the early 1600s, another French explorer, Samuel de Champlain, forged a military and trading alliance with the Algonquin and Huron. Champlain founded Quebec in 1608, and it became a major base for fur trading along the St. Lawrence River. The next year, Champlain joined allies in battle against Haudenosaunee warriors at Lake Champlain. This first of many skirmishes between the French and Iroquois was a shock to the Haudenosaunee, many of whom had never even seen guns. Hostilities continued into the next year when a French and indigenous force won another victory at the Battle of Sorel. However, the French met their match in 1615 during a failed week-long siege of an Onondaga town that left Champlain wounded. The French also pushed inland from Quebec, reaching the western end of Lake Ontario, and in time, the shores of Lake Superior. By that point, Henry Hudson's exploration of the river that now bears his name gave the Haudenosaunee their own European trading partner, the Dutch. In 1614, the Dutch built Fort Nassau, trading with the Haudenosaunee, including, in some cases, firearms. In contrast, the French initially restricted selling these weapons to natives, unless they converted to Christianity. A decade later, Fort Orange replaced Fort Nassau as the primary Dutch trading post, and New Amsterdam, soon to be New York City, developed down on Manhattan Island as another trading hub.
Wow.
Tensions were rising between the Haudenosaunee and their neighbors, especially the Mohicans to the east, who were competing for access to Dutch trade. In 1628, Haudenosaunee forces pushed the Mohicans east and soon launched their first direct attacks against the French. The European demand for beaver pelts was exploding, as waterproof hats became the height of fashion. Uncoincidentally, beaver populations in Haudenosaunee territory dropped significantly as intensive trapping emptied local streams and wetlands. In response, Haudenosaunee leaders turned outward, planning campaigns to seize new hunting territories and trade routes. Another factor contributing to expansion was smallpox and other diseases that slammed indigenous communities. To replace massive losses, the Haudenosaunee would launch mourning wars to capture and assimilate members of other tribes. By the 1630s, the Haudenosaunee were pushing west and conquered the Wenro people. In the 1640s, the Mohawk of the Haudenosaunee proposed a peace treaty, but the French rejected it because, among other things, it didn't include their native allies. More Haudenosaunee attacks followed, such as strikes against Algonquin and Huron canoe convoys along the St. Lawrence. Meanwhile, the French founded Montreal, which soon became a fur trading hub and hence a target.
Wow.
While all that was going on, French Jesuit missionaries were pushing into the interior, including Father Isaac Jogues, who lived among the Huron. In 1645, a temporary truce known as the Three Rivers Peace was signed, but it wouldn't last long. Just 3 years later, the Dutch authorized the sale of hundreds of firearms to the Haudenosaunee, further fueling campaigns of devastation. Haudenosaunee forces destroyed key Huron villages, killing or capturing thousands, and effectively breaking the Huron Confederacy. Then they defeated the neutral nation and expanded influence around the Great Lakes. 1650s campaigns also targeted and eliminated the Erie, while the Susquehannock successfully resisted some Haudenosaunee attacks. In 1660 came one of the Beaver War's most dramatic moments. Adam Dollard de Ormeaux led 16 Frenchmen and a party of native allies in a desperate stand at Long Sault near Montreal, dying in the fight, but buying critical time for French settlements downstream. To the south, continued resistance from the Susquehannock slowed Haudenosaunee expansion. In 1664, the English seized New Netherland, which became New York, inheriting the Dutch fur trade networks and Haudenosaunee alliance. The English expanded with the Hudson's Bay Company and eventually formed a series of alliances that tied the Confederacy to English interests. Albany, previously Fort Orange, became a major center of Haudenosaunee and English relations. On the French side, the Ottawa people emerged as the primary middlemen, bringing furs from distant western tribes to Montreal. In 1666, the French launched expeditions into Haudenosaunee territory, burning Mohawk villages and food supplies in response to constant raiding. These invasions led to a 1667 peace between the French, Mohawk, and Oneida, but also scarred the life of Kateri Tekakwitha, a Mohawk Algonquin woman whose village was burned. The French began dotting the upper St. Lawrence and Lake Superior region with new trading posts and forts, and pushed further around Lake Michigan. Simultaneously, the Haudenosaunee were asserting dominance in the Ohio River Valley, driving out tribes like the Miami. The Susquehannock were also effectively defeated during this time.
Wow.
By the 1680s, Beaver...
This is just for me, I didn't know anything of this. I had no idea that the Indians were this brutal towards each other.
Yeah, but I feel like I want a bunch more information than we get, because I
think we need to go. No, I think we mean that we need to go back and how it all started. I mean,
Yeah.
The French were there, the British were there,
Yeah.
the Dutch were there.
Yeah.
Then the Dutch got kicked out, the French got kicked out. Then the only one that was left was the British, and they were there for a very long time. Then the Americans just started saying, hell no, let's kick them out. And they won and kicked out the British. That's what I know. We're going back all the way to the 1600s here.
Yeah, but
the entire land was filled with 25, 30 different tribes. One tribe is kicking some serious butt.
But I'm interested. I would love to know more about the tribes.
Yeah.
What they stood for, what they...
But there were so many.
Yeah, but I feel like I know too little to really
We could.
understand this fully.
We could see if we can find videos of the biggest ones. I mean, the Algonquin and the Huron and...
Yeah, just more. I just feel like I need more information.
Let us know in the comments if you want us to go even down the rabbit hole when it comes to what kind of different tribes of Native Americans there were during the 15th, 16th, and of course 1700s. Let us know in the comments if you want us to do that.
Or if you have another video that explains it a little bit more, like for us that are
Yeah.
historians.
But the thing is that the one tribe is taking over everything.
Yeah.
And they're going all out wars because they want more dominance. So we got one tribe that is just waging war against neutral tribes that have nothing to do with this, which is incredible that the one tribe decided to do this because they wanted to be bigger and they wanted to have a big deal when it comes to the fur trading. They wanted the weapons and...
But I mean,
incredible.
if it was, like we say, 25 tribes,
Yeah.
if all of them had come together to fight against the British, maybe...
The British, the French, he said, I don't think the British have come yet, because he already showed... Did he show the British? Because I can't remember if he did that, but I do know in the 1700s that they are there because the Total War, the video game, they should be there in the 1700s. But there is Dutch, if Dutch was incredible, they had Papua New Guinea. There you go. On the south, they were there really early because Dutch was one of those incredible traders back in the days.
Populations were severely reduced across much of the Northeast. The Haudenosaunee Confederacy was pretty much at the height of its power. The French began aggressively arming their Algonquin allies, and French Governor Louis de Frontenac had established a fort in Kingston, Ontario. In 1687, Governor Marquis de Denonville led a large French army into Seneca country, burning several villages.
Campsite 1687, Denonville's army of about 2,600 Frenchmen and Indians camped here overnight, July 12, on the way to attack the Seneca Indians.
Wow. County of Monroe, 1687.
But failing to deliver a decisive blow.
Oh,
2 years later, Haudenosaunee warriors struck back at Lachine near Montreal, killing and capturing settlers in a notorious massacre. And it just went back and forth. In the 1690s, the French and their allies attacked places like the Dutch settlement of Schenectady, and during a Haudenosaunee raid in 1692, 14-year-old Madeleine de Verchères famously defended her family's fort. On and on the French and Iroquois wars went, including a French campaign to destroy Onondaga and Oneida villages. In 1697, the Treaty of Ryswick ended war between France and England, but did not include indigenous groups. Frustrated, the Haudenosaunee began navigating complex peace negotiations with both the French and the English simultaneously. Finally, in 1701, the Great Peace of Montreal was signed, effectively bringing the Beaver Wars to an end. The treaty stabilized trade routes, and the Haudenosaunee pledged neutrality in future European conflicts. It was finally over. One legacy of the Beaver Wars is ecological. The near extermination of the beaver altered wetlands and water flows, but luckily the populations of these rodents rebounded, and they're still around today. Another legacy was the westward push of displaced peoples, including the Lakota, who influenced the American West. Despite all that, the Beaver Wars are often overshadowed by later conflicts like the French and Indian War and the American Revolution, even though they set the stage for both. Anyway, I hope this video changes that a little bit. And if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and have a good one.
yeah, I really did enjoy this.
Yeah, absolutely. But I feel like it was a little bit over my head here because it was a lot of new names and a lot of new that so yeah. To be honest, it was a little bit too much.
I'm conflicted because I play a video game called Total War. So when you start playing Total War, there is a play mode where you can be the Americans.
Oh, okay.
And your job is to kick the British out, kick the French out. That's the main job. But there is Indian tribes around you, and you can decide what to do with them. You can normally, when you start the game, you are allied with one of the big ones. So, but they do not join the war in the sense of maybe they did here, which is kind of sad when you think about it. So I was a bit further than you when it comes to the knowledge.
Yeah.
But I did not know that one of the tribes was so aggressive. And that was kind of strange.
And also, this was a 12-minute video. I mean,
But again, I've been telling you, if you guys want us to go down the rabbit hole of Native American tribes, let us know in the comments.
And come with suggestion if you have this is a great video for you guys. This tells a lot and blah, blah, blah. Just put the title and the channel, not the link, just the name, so we can look it up.
Yeah, links normally get blocked.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy this.
Yeah, absolutely. I love history, so.
Yeah, I love history too, and I love the way he was narrating it too. I feel like he said the name like spot on too, and I'm really jealous about the way he could pronounce the tribes, because they had kind of difficult names of the tribes. Not everyone, but a few of them. Well, if you did enjoy this, don't forget to hit the like and of course subscribe and help us out if you want us to go down the rabbit hole. And of course, a big thank you to local NY History for making this video. Absolutely divine, to be honest. A big thank you to everyone who supports us on Patreon, channel membership on YouTube. No matter what tier, you guys are completely amazing. Same goes to the PayPalers, the super thankers, the hypers, and the community that is Recky Carol, well as you guys in the comments. Keep being nice to us and to each other. The world needs kindness. Definitely. Other than that, I am Recky.
And I'm Carol.
You
Stay safe.